Welcome back to SV Ramble On. Some of the projects we're going to be working on this summer are standing rig related. The boat, from what we can gather, the boat had a new aluminum spar installed back in 2003. I believe that's when they put the dual furlers on the head stay and the inner forestay, and I'm assuming they redid all the wire rigging to go with it. So we're going to go ahead and start. I've noticed some rust and corrosion on some of the fittings and whatnot, and I don't really trust the swages on the bottom end that still remain, so we're going to go ahead and start getting things changed out. And then tomorrow we're going to take a trip down to Alameda and visit Glenn Hansen at Hansen Rigging, and he's going to build us a couple of swaged shrouds. When we re-rig the boat, I'm putting swage terminals aloft with the swages facing downward. I'm going to use mechanical terminals as I did with the chain plates, the High mod mechanical fittings down at deck level, where you can keep an eye on them, inspect them, open them up, reuse them, and we'll put the down-facing swaged eye fittings up aloft where everything ties into the mast hangs. So tomorrow we're going to go down to Hansen Rigging and get the new head stay and the new backstay cut, and I need to do a couple of measurements of the stay length, and I'll order them a little bit longer than needed. Then I can cut them off here and install my mechanical terminals. But when we installed the chain plates and tensioned the rig, I kind of screwed up, and the mast has a little bit of an S bend to it. It's not completely vertical. So I got the cap shrouds. The cap shrouds have equal tension, but they're not equal distance. So I'm going to check that out. Got to loosen everything, kind of dock tune it, and then I can make sure that the mast is plumb where I need it to get the proper length for the backstay and the head stay. So it looks like this turnbuckle's almost bottomed out, and it does feel a little bit loose for the backstay. So I'm gonna just put some reference marks on here, because when I ease it, you have to ease everything and then start over, tension in the rig. So I just want to put a couple of reference marks. The turnbuckle's almost bottomed out. You can kind of see inside this swage. It's not very clean, but you can see the rust starting to form. And I haven't seen or noticed any cracks in the actual swage, but I'm going to go ahead and convert these to mechanical studs, and then we'll do the swaged fitting up there. Okay, I'm going to send a tape up the topping lift and measure the backstay length. I'm going to be a little generous because the tape is flopping in the wind, and there's an eye splice on the halyard, which is going to keep it from going all the way up into the ship box. So I'm thinking pin to pin. Since I'm changing it out to a stud fitting and installing the new T-bolts and toggles, 53 feet of wire will be enough. I've cut it at 54. Today we made the trip down to Alameda to get a couple of our stays built down here at Hansen Rigging. So we're going to go inside, talk to Glenn, and have him swage us a couple of terminals for our head stay and our backstay. That gigantic swaging machine. The sleeves that it rolls on around the wire. Those things are kind of
well, it's a hard shoulder. It's a hard shoulder. I think you're fine.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you did calculate for extra, just so that you could taper the end of the wire.
Yeah, exactly. Take out maybe the inner strands and lay it tapered.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit extra. The closest town that anybody would recognize. 5/8 pin, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So what'd you do right there? As far as just put a little, just to give it some grip?
Yeah, it just gives it a little grip. This machine has been, this particular machine may grip the swedge, and it'll send the wire. Peel it. It might whip around.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
That's pretty crazy. Most of the machines I've seen have the jaws that come, you know.
Yeah, there's two. We have one of those machines too. This one here is just, this is a little. I like the rotary switch.
Yeah, it gives it like uniform compression all the way around.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's compressing it as it spins. Okay.
Huh. There's our backstay.
Yay.
Oh wait, no, that's a headstay. That's got the stud. Ballinger built the spar, I guess. I think it originally came with a wooden mast. And then the owners changed it out about, what, 15 years or more, something like that.
Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if a Tiana came with a wooden mast, but maybe they did.
It's a 77.
It's a 77. Yeah, usually the old ones did.
They did.
Mast
I know that the CTs all had wood spars.
Actually, the original sales said CT37.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome back. Today we're going to be changing the backstay, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to change the headstay inside the Schaefer furler. That might take a little longer, but the backstay is the easy one. I'll start with that first. Last week we went down to Alameda and had Hansen Rigging swage us a couple of wires, cut them a little bit long so we'd have room to chop them to size. And then I'm going to install the high mod compression stud for the backstay, along with new Hain lower toggles. Got new toggle studs, so these two will go together inside the turnbuckle. And up at the top we need an additional toggle, and that is what holds this to the masthead, and that'll be the upper toggle. There's a cross pin that goes through the welded bracket up there, and then this was what will hold the backstay on at the top.
Are we reusing the turnbuckle?
I'm reusing the turnbuckle body. It's a closed body turnbuckle, bronze. So far it looks like they're in good condition. All of them aren't too bad. They work okay. Go ahead. It's all you.
You want me to hold that?
Maybe. All right, so what I'm doing is setting these up, get a pin to pin length with both wires laying next to each other. Pins are right there. Then I'll mark a wire, cut it, and install the high mod. This rusty thing is going to get changed out. I'm going to reuse the toggle body, the turnbuckle body, but I'm putting a new stud. In fact, this stud is shorter than the existing one. So I got to lay this out and take some measurements. So all the fittings on the boat came swaged, and we're changing them to mechanical terminals. When we cut off the shrouds and installed the chain plates outboard, we put on studs, the high mod compression studs. And I've still got the backstay and the headstay to deal with as far as changing wire. This is the old wire. We're going to cut this to length. I'm going to figure out where this needs to be in relationship to where I have to cut it to make this turnbuckle work with this new T-toggle and the compression fitting. The backstay was almost bottomed out. It's pretty close to bottomed out on its adjustment. So I'm going to get the pin-to-pin length for where the wire needs to be. Then I'm going to determine where to cut the wire according to setting the toggle up about midway on both the T and the high mod. From the center of the pin to the center of the bottom pin is 52 foot 11 1/4 inches is how long our backstay is. I'm trying to calculate so I have enough threads, but I don't have, so that it's got a good grip range. But I'm also trying to calculate so that as the wire stretches, because it will once the rig is tensioned, that I still have enough room inside this, that these two studs don't bottom out on each other before the rig is tight. So as it works and stretches, I think I'm going to need to probably do some more adjustments. So I measured from the pin, center of the pin, to the top of where I got to cut the wire off at the high mod fitting, and that's about 15.5. So I took the overall pin to pin length of the backstay, which is 52 foot 11 1/4 inches, all stretched out from pin here to pin at the masthead. Subtract the 15.5 inches gives us 51 foot 7 3/4 inches. So I'm going to cut the wire at 51 foot 7 3/4 inches. So Chitty's going to help me lay that out. Alright, so now we're going to unlay the wire and insert the cones and put the compression stud together. And look down below or up above. I think in the upper corner it'll say a link to our previous video where we put these things together for the chain plates. So there's 12 wires wrapped around, 7 more wires twisted in the middle.
Okay.
And that's how you lay the wire, or that's how they do it from the factory. Okay, so that little bit sticking out of the crown, the star shape, it's that's what fits up inside this little hole inside there. Hand tight only. You want to peek inside?
Thanks.
There, everything lays great. Now I forget to get this special red Loctite. I put blue Loctite on all the lowers, the bottom ones on the chain plates, because I knew I was going to take them apart because we were going to redo all the wire eventually.
So the blue Loctite is temporary?
The blue Loctite's temporary. You can take it apart with tools and a little bit of heat. Red Loctite, you need to use heat. Loctite's the lubricant, and it also keeps the keeps threads from coming undone. Hand tight plus a half turn.
With the wrench?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a half. This works. Yes. Okay. New Hain toggle. Don't drop this shit. Alright. Nice. Okay. Hold it there and cleat it off for me right about there.
drop it. Okay. Oh, that pin ain't coming out.
So I just put the last turns on the turnbuckle to tension the backstay, and it seems to be pretty nice and tight. I noticed after a day the backstay tended to relax a little bit from probably the wire's going to stretch a little bit. So everything's tensioned, head stays on. I'll check tension in a couple of days or periodically. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up.
Anything else you want to say, Jerk?
No, it's been a long weekend. I'm tired.